I'm Shelby Reese, your Vice President of Marketing. In our last meeting, we covered the contingency plans and a more detailed timeline and budget. Since then, we have conducted employee surveys and polls to see how our staff feels about the relocation of this company. We are continuing to connect with our audiences through our tailored messages, and we are planning on covering today a global update, a 5-year projection plan, a more detailed timeline and calendar, and we will also be introducing our audience letters and our outline. I will now be handing it over to my communications manager, Madison Fields.
One of the things that I want to cover is the external environment, and throughout this presentation we will also be touching base on demographics and a 5-year projection. Basically, I want to start off with the demographics of the place we'll be moving to, and that's Catoosa, Oklahoma. Catoosa is 96% urban and 4% rural. You can expect the median household there to be around $50,000 a year. There are 2 major races there within the city. Obviously, the first is white Caucasian, which has 69.1%, and followed after that is American Indian, which is 13.9%. One of the things that I also wanted to add about Catoosa is to recognize that the home sales and real estate percentage has grown within the last 5 years pretty dramatically. So it is a growing economy and a growing city as well. The next one I want to talk about as we go into our global countries is, the first one is Canada. And Canada is the 37th largest country in the world. They have approximately around 35 million people. They have a monarchy government, and their gross domestic product over the last 5 years, they got in about $1.82 million, which is pretty big for their country. The second one I want to talk about, which is a very huge one, is China, and they are the largest country in the world. They have approximately 1.3 billion people, so they have quite a bit more than Canada. They're a middle income nation, and their economic growth has increased dramatically over the past few years. They are also a communist nation. The third one that I want to talk about, where we have their industry, is India. India steps in second behind China. They are the second largest country in the world. They have approximately 1.2 billion people. Their expected economic growth and population has projected to exceed China's here in the next 5 years, which is huge. It is so good for our company to have our industries in not only the second and the largest company in the world, or largest country in the world, but we also have Canada in there as well. India is also a Hindu nation, to add into some of the demographics. The next slide that we have is a gross domestic product that involves those 3 countries, and basically how well they've done from 2005 and even projected to 2020. So that's something for our people to look at and take in as well. As we talk about our internal environment, one of the things I want to add is that we have had no impending strikes on the company thus far. Everything seems to be running smoothly, things have been paid on time and in advance, and we haven't run into anything to use contingency this far. All letters to potential and current vendors, donors, and customers have been sent. The OSS employee relocation package and letter have been sent to all employee family members, and they have been aware. We have conducted the employee survey and poll, and the results from that are back. In the next slide, we will show a graph and pie chart to show kind of the percentages and the range of what we're looking at as far as whether employees are wanting to move or stay behind. HR, personnel, and certain department managers have come together and planned to create the job fairs for both Owasso and Tulsa. The details on that will be in our later presentations. Also, one thing is NCR is a software upgrade company, and we have contacted and met with them, and they are going to provide the computer software update for our company when we move. Here we have the employee survey chart. As you can tell, we don't have exact numbers on this, as some people are still deciding, but it kind of gave us a roundabout. You can expect 10% or less that will decide to move. Up from that is probably around 12 to 13% that are undecided. And then, of course, as we assumed, there's a large majority and a large percentage of the employees that have decided to stay in Saginaw and not move with the company. As we identify our SWOT throughout our 5-year projection and our demographics within our global countries, some of our strengths are industry and product growth that we have in our global countries, being the second and the largest country in the world. We have tremendous growth expected, as well as here in Catoosa. Some weaknesses that we need to identify as far as globally goes is the political factors in recent news that may affect our major countries. As we are here, we need to be paying attention also to what's going on over there and affecting them as well. Some of our opportunities, we have a 5-year projection on global production that shows it should more than double as what it was in 2014 for both here in the nation and our global ones as well. A recent trend in technology may shift areas of production and delivery, hopefully in positive ways. I assume it will be. Technology is rapidly growing. And we also have webinars and training that will be provided to compete with other countries. We have our training here for our employees. We need to make sure that all of our training is being done both globally so they can compete in those countries as well. At this time, I will now invite Clint Bush, our advertising director, to present his.
Hello, Mr. President. I'm Nirali Patel, and I'm the Public Relations Manager. Develop strategies and vehicles. We have a team made up of our human resource personnel and department managers that are prepared to coordinate the job fairs. Production seminars will be held, will be in place to better train employees before startup in Catoosa. We do not have the dates as of now for the seminars, but we are working on it. We also plan to maximize our production by 25% globally within the next 2 years. We have a Facebook page created that has all the information regarding the job fairs and any other announcements that are made available to the public. Evaluating efforts. Our efforts are to create and execute a 5-year production projection both globally and nationally. Our polls and surveys have helped to show the estimated moving of employees, as Madison showed in that slide. The Public Relations Manager has assured outlets to current employees and their families, as well as lenders and donors and the community, to make this move as easy and smooth as possible. Demographics in our global industries have been evaluated to project our product growth and threats for the next 5 years. Now I would like to introduce our Assistant Marketing Director, Deb.
Hello, Mr. President. We are moving along the timeline just as planned. Everything's going well. We have no impending strikes. The dates to highlight in the near future are June 13th when we have our job fair in Saginaw, and July 2nd when production stops. Our setup teams and dismantle teams will begin work on July 6th. We have used 0.13% of our budget. That number will go up as we pay out our employees vacation time so that they will stay on the job and keep producing product for us. We have the results of our employee poll and survey, and we will be updating the budget and the timeline as we go. Thank you.